What's up, guys?
What's up, guys?
What's up, guys? So, Beauty and the Beast,
Kong
Skull Island, Logan.
Episode 8, Last Jedi teaser
Best
trailer.
love letters to Hollywood that we've
This
ever
film
seen.
is a masterpiece. So, until the next time, goodbye.
Deadpool 2 is directed by David Leitch, and it's the sequel to Deadpool, the film that everyone loved back in 2016. We now have the sequel, and this is going to be a spoiler review, because pretty much everyone I know has already seen Deadpool, so I didn't think that there was much point in releasing a normal, non-spoiler review. So, spoiler alert is in notice for this film. If you've read the title, you will see spoiler alert. So, here we go. Here are some Deadpool spoilers, and I'm going to start off by saying the things that I liked, because Deadpool 2 was a mixed bag for me. So, Ryan Reynolds once again proves that he is just perfect for Deadpool. He commits 100% to the role. You can see how much fun he's having. He commits to every joke, even the ones that don't really hit. He's fully committed in the action scenes. He is just the perfect embodiment of what Deadpool should be. Seriously, I couldn't picture anyone else as this character at this point. Ryan Reynolds has basically made it his own, and I couldn't picture anyone else doing it. All the performances are pretty good, especially Josh Brolin coming off Thanos. He really had to do something different and not just be a different kind of villain. Cable is a significantly different kind of character to Thanos, and Josh Brolin is a perfect straight man to Ryan Reynolds' more over-the-top kind of humour. He is perfectly deadpan, and he contrasts with Deadpool so well. I also like Zazie Beetz as Domino, and pretty much all the performances throughout I liked. Now let's talk about the humour. The humour in Deadpool 1 was very, very different, because the whole film was such a huge breath of fresh air from normal superhero conventions. But in Deadpool 2, it didn't have that ability to be as groundbreaking as the first one. So, the humour is hit and miss in Deadpool 2, and it misses more than it hits. There are some really, really funny moments, but they're scattered throughout, and, you know, the first laugh for me, I thought, was when he goes, "I'm Batman." I was dying when he said that, honestly. Like, that was the first big laugh for me. Most of the big laughs I thought came at the very end. The visual style as well, I think, is a significant improvement over the first one. David Leitch, if you've seen his other films he co-directed John Wick, and also if you saw in the opening credits, which I thought were really funny, one of the guys who killed the dog in John Wick, that is a very, very funny reference to John Wick. But anyway, if you've seen John Wick, if you've seen Atomic Blonde, you know that David Leitch knows how to make low-budget films really, really dazzle with visual style. And you can definitely see similarities in the colour scheme between John Wick, Atomic Blonde, and Deadpool 2. I thought that the early scenes in Tokyo, all the scenes set in foreign countries in the very beginning when he's doing all his different Hitman assignments, I thought that they looked great. Everything in the film looked great. The CGI, I can't really fault it for how it's put together, because the way that it's constructed is excellent. Now let's talk about some scenes that I really liked. The whole assembling of the X-Force I loved. I thought the X-Force didn't feel shoehorned in. I loved all the individual characters. Bill Skarsgård, as in Pennywise Bill Skarsgård, he's in it. I thought that he was really funny, even though he doesn't really have much to do. He just has acid vomit. Peter, you've seen him in the trailers. He's a legend. I want him to come back. And he will come back because he was saved at the end. So, Peter spin-off film, please happen. Please, please, please. Anyway, X-Force, I really like that. I'm so happy to hear that an X-Force film has been announced, because Deadpool 2 has obviously done well. It's already passed $500 million. So, Deadpool 3 and X-Force have been announced. I'm very happy about that. Domino, I thought of the scene where she's dodging everything, showing her lucky powers. That was really funny. And basically the chemistry and the sort of family aspect to X-Force and the family aspect to the whole film, I'll talk about that later, but I just really enjoyed that. And the fact that they all died, I mean, some were reversed at the end, but the fact that they all died in that parachute jump, that was hilarious. I really wasn't expecting that, so it just showed that it was unpredictable. And that's another thing that I liked about Deadpool 2, its unpredictability. I really had no idea where this plot was going to go. Cable goes from being the main villain to becoming an anti-hero. I really liked where they took his character. The only thing that I didn't really like, you know, unpredictability-wise, was what they did with Russell. Julian Dennison, I thought, is a good fit for the character, but I thought that Fire Fist, Russell, the character of Russell / Fire Fist, I thought that he had way too many ups and downs. I know that he's a teenager and he's going through these sort of things in his life, but he goes from doing physical comedy, which he does very well, to sort of doing evil things, you know, when he's testing out his powers. He's going, yeah, I could be a gangster. And then when he's, you know, pulling himself on the rope, these things sort of conflict, so you never really get a sense of who he really is. But if he's in future films, I'm sure that they can fix his character. Also, it was really nice to see Deadpool interact with more characters this time. In the original film, he really only interacted with the main villain, Colossus, and Negasonic Teenage Warhead, and of course, Vanessa, who, oof, yeah, she's dead. Or is she? Because she comes back. Not sure. But Colossus is back. I wish they'd do more with Colossus, because I never really think that the humour between Deadpool and Colossus works very well. I wanted a bit more of Negasonic Teenage Warhead. She does get to do some stuff at the end. I really like the fact that she has a girlfriend now. That was just an interesting development. When Deadpool gets ripped apart by the Juggernaut, and then he has to grow his entire, body back, and he's shirt cocking it. That's a funny scene. Another thing that I liked, all the choice of music. I thought that the Aha Take On Me, sort of slower, sadder version was really cool. I've listened to it a few times. I'm All in Love. I love that in the beginning of the film, and also probably one of the best uses of thunder I've seen in the film, when they're going thunder and then jumping out the plane for the parachute landing. I really like that, or plane, helicopter, whatever they're doing. Best use of thunder I've seen in a while. That was just a really epic scene when they're all somersaulting out and Pete has to get pushed out. I love that kind of stuff. There are some things in Deadpool that I really liked, and I can't really fault it for trying to do something different, for trying to be something completely separate from the original film, and trying to be a more family picture, trying to give Deadpool, the character of Wade Wilson, more emotion. And I can say that it does succeed in being something that feels separate from the original. It doesn't just want to do what the original did well and just stick to that. It wants to be more of its own thing, and I have to give the film credit for that. Now let's talk about things I didn't really like. The first act is extremely choppy and completely barrel of laughs, I thought. Save for a few chuckles leading up to that one big laugh when they're in the prison when he says, "I'm Batman," I thought the first act really didn't work very well, and as I was watching it I realised that I wasn't really liking it up to that point where the plot really starts to pick up, but it does bounce around a bit. There's not really much humour. It hits you with all the emotional stuff that it's trying to do. It kills Vanessa in one of the early scenes, so you're hit with lots of stuff and you realise that they're trying to take the character of Wade Wilson in a new, more emotional direction, and I actually thought that all the emotional stuff that they did was one of the weaker parts of the film. It really conflicted with the character of Deadpool that they set up in the first film. And again, I said that I liked that they tried to be different from the first film, but the new elements that they brought in didn't really mesh together very well. Again, the humour is more miss than hit, I thought. Even though there are some big laughs, I thought that the first film was more consistently funny. Now, let's talk about the Juggernaut. I didn't know that he was in the film, and I wanted something more from Juggernaut. I wanted him to actually do more Juggernaut stuff. Even in X-Men The Last Stand, when Vinnie Jones, at least fans think Vinnie Jones butchered the character. "I'm the Juggernaut, bitch." Yeah, some good stuff. Anyway, I wanted Juggernaut to actually do some more running and smashing stuff. At least in X-Men The Last Stand, you had that one scene where Vinnie Jones is just running and smashing through all these walls, chasing after Ellen Page. But basically, Juggernaut barely has anything to do. There's one fight with Colossus. He has that one scene when he rips apart Wade Wilson. And other than that, he doesn't really do much. He wasn't particularly funny. The CGI was okay for him. He was probably the weakest moment of CGI. Other than that, the CGI was pretty great. But yeah, I wanted more from Juggernaut. And if you're going to have him in the film, give me more Juggernaut. I hope that since you saw that he was moving at the end of the film, that he's going to be in future films, and I hope that they can correct their mistakes from this film in future films. I also didn't really like when Cable comes asking for help, that he said, "You released the Juggernaut, and now you've messed up big time." I thought that that was going to set up Juggernaut being the main villain for the last act of the film. Not really. Russell is sort of the main villain, but again, he isn't really the best villain because he's so back and forth. I was sort of annoyed that they basically set up Juggernaut as this huge threat, and he wasn't really a huge threat. I've already mentioned that Russell goes back and forth a bit too much. Other than that, I thought that Deadpool 2 was fine. It's good, but saying that, comparing it to the first Deadpool, is a bit of a disappointment. I'm going to give Deadpool 2 a B-. Again, I can give it credit for trying to be its own thing. It has some really funny moments. All the performances are pretty great. The CGI is good. The action scenes are very well done. The colour scheme, the visual style, some of the jokes are really funny. Yeah, those are the things that I liked, and there are some things I didn't like. But anyway, if you've seen Deadpool 2, let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever you want to do, and until the next time, goodbye.